Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Oh. Wait, I might have to cut the audio on this. I might have to cut the audio on that. All right, cool. Say something.
hello something.
Okay. Because
I'm just so
I had to
lost.
cut
Okay.
the I had to cut the audio. Actually, let me just do this.
Why does this say the show Radio Live is offline? It's not offline. I chose online. You should work. You should be good.
I
Might
hear
not
an
know what
echo.
I'm doing. An
Okay.
echo?
No, it looks like it's moving.
Okay, good. Good.
Oh man. 447. Can you believe that? What?
Well, we left E3 at like 4:04, 4 or 5.
Something like that.
Alrighty.
All right, so
So
let me send this
that's
tweet out real quick.
good. Yeah.
I send the tweet out. Tweeting out. It's gone. It is live.
Wow, it's kind of scary how
What?
little this delay is on Mixer.
I know.
It's
It's
a little
pretty
bit
crazy.
scary.
It's pretty wild. Oh, it's pretty wild.
I didn't even get to look at all the show notes. I didn't. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that happened today too. I think I got hit up for people being
Well,
scared about.
how much stuff do you think went on? Like crazy business or what?
Let's see. I think a lot of it has to do with, people seeing changes that Twitch is making,
Word.
and then especially their change to their front page, and then I guess the DMCA 24-hour bans that were issued and then unissued.
Okay.
Um,
That was for major streamers or what happened with that? I don't think I saw much of that news.
Apparently a lot of streamers got it. Did you tweet it
Hmm.
out?
Yeah, I did. You see it?
Okay.
Do you see it? May have to adjust this mic. Yeah, I tweeted it out. It should be out.
Okay, I see it.
All right, so I'm looking around now. So what's different for you so far based on the layout and stuff?
Everything.
Word. Everything. Dun, 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 dun. So I've been checking out Paladins lately. I don't know if I told you.
Um,
And I really dig it. And I've been using the snakebite thumbstick super duper things. They've been really, really fun.
okay, I think I'm ready. Sure.
You ready?
Yeah.
For sure.
Uh-huh.
All right, so let's see how this goes. Episode 447. Daniela, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right. Let me get these show notes up. Thought I had it up on this thing. Let's put it up here. All right. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the show radio. This is episode 447. I'm your host, Andrew.
Hi guys, I'm Danny.
And this is your source for tech, gaming, and entertainment news. Head over to theshowradio.info. Once again, that's theshowradio.info. And check out our past shows. While you're there, subscribe and tell a friend about the show. The show is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all the places that you find podcasts. We're excited to be here. This is the first show we're doing on Mixer. We're doing a test show here on Mixer to see how the platform runs with talk shows. Daniela, what's going on with you?
Oh man, I'm gonna be stuck diagnosing my computer for I feel like it's gonna be forever right now.
Why? Why do you say that?
I don't know. It's just acting differently. It is. It's a whole. It
Okay.
feels like so much more bogged down than it was before I had issues. Man.
Okay,
I
so
think he's
what
trying to tell
happened?
it. Well,
So your
okay,
machine's
so
back up online. So what happened?
it power supply just popped. It was like the loudest pop and smoke and it broke my heart. That's what happened.
Okay. Okay. And then you ordered the part.
Yeah, I did, and then it took forever, and I'm not the most patient person when it comes to like, waiting for things to be coming in. And
Right.
so I was just the most impatient person about it. I put it in, it started up, and everything, like so much stuff was just changed. Like my audio was different, my mic was set different, speakers are all different. And like right now, I don't know what it is, and I gotta go and look at it, but I am running at like 80% CPU usage.
Okay.
I
Okay,
shouldn't be.
adjust your volume down a little bit. It could be me, but just to be on the safe side.
Adjust my volume down. Let's see. Can I do it
For your mic. A
from
little
here?
bit. You
Just a little bit.
sound a little tangy. Like tang. You had a little tangy on top of your audio. So it
Yeah.
will just
What about that? Is that better? Yeah, a little
yeah,
bit better?
leave it there for now. Yeah, leave it
Okay.
there. You sound nice. You
All
sound
right.
nice.
See what
Very
I
cool.
mean? See what I mean? It's like it's something's different. Something's changed about it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that we got that squared away. Okay, so all the changes you're making to the machine, are you back up to where you were before, or what changes do you need to make to?
I have no idea right now.
Okay,
I really, really don't. Did I adjust? Did I change the gain on my mic? Maybe so.
you
I gotta
did.
go and check those things. I have no clue. I did have to take apart everything to get to move my cables around. Gotta open that up.
Mm.
Um, no, it's just so much. It's just something just so different about it. Like right now, like when we our past shows, I've never had a issue with using almost 100% of my CPU overhead. Right now,
Yeah.
I'm now at 90. I don't know what it is. I'm looking at it. What is
Ah,
using so much? This is so bizarre to me. But here we are. Figure it out. I'll figure
word.
it out at some point. I feel
So
so bad.
I I know you're gonna figure it out because you're smart. So I think that's gonna happen very, very quickly for you. So check this out, right? So there were some interesting things that happened at E3 that we didn't fully discuss.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out if I want to go into this now or I want to go into this later. A couple of things happened this week. Definitely want to mention this. Pepcom happened this week, so shout out to the entire team that continues to invite me back to Pepcom, which is awesome. CE Week, I think that was the second time I went to CE Week. Covered a lot of things at CE Week. I think I did over 20 interviews, maybe over 15 interviews for CE Week, and I'm still posting stuff on theshowradio.info, so that's going to happen between now and Monday. All the stuff is going to happen there, which is why we're at 447. Depending on the last time you listened, we're probably somewhere around 404 or 408, give or take, somewhere in that window. So, but stuff happened at E3. We had an amazing time, Daniela and I, and but there's some weird things that took place that I need context, especially from Daniela. So yeah. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to do this now or do you want to do this later?
Context. Now I'm just curious. Now we have to do it now.
Do we?
Well, yeah, now I'm curious. Context 4 and I don't know. I remember
So,
E3 and I don't remember E3. There was so much that
okay.
went on.
So what do you remember about E3?
A lot of walking.
A lot of walking.
You can't avoid that. No, it just had a different feel to it overall. A good feel, just so different. I mean, last year I feel like last year we were hustling, but I felt like we still had a lot of time on our hands to be able to to talk more with people and come across
Yeah.
people. It's funny because we came across some people, but it's like almost in passing and we're just like running off to other things. But what's weird is there's a guy that I ended up talking to at the PC gaming show. And before it started, he was like standing in the lobby. He was wearing a breakaway shirt. So, I was talking with him. I swear, I saw that guy at least 5 or 6 times every single day walking around. And yet
How
I
come?
saw I saw Khalif once
Word.
and I was like, how is it that somebody that I don't know I saw 5 or 6 times in like a 3 day period?
It's
And
weird like
so
that.
it really is weird. It really is. But let's see.
It was good to see people in passing though. I think I really enjoyed that because everybody, had their appointments. Everybody was busy. Everybody was moving and shaking, and I really appreciated that. So while I'm thinking about it before I forget, I did finally find the part that I was looking for that attaches to the phone, that turns the
Oh.
phone into like a super duper um, audio thing. So I'm
Mhm.
going to link that to you. I should put that somewhere in the show notes for sure. So
Did
this
you order it already?
essentially, not yet. This audio adapter gives you the gain. It gives you the XLR, and it's a one piece that goes to the phone, and that could be your phone. It could be my phone, and it's like $24,
Oh, that's not bad
and
at
it
all.
is and it looks like an amazing unit. So my goal is to start using something like that at the events so I can record the audio that I want and the video at the same time. And I think that'd be really, really dope. So definitely wanted to mention that. So yeah, so the things that happen at E3. So let's start with the guy telling us about Fortnite and the Uber.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So let's start
I
there.
thought that was a cute conversation because he started off
Okay.
with that. That's like a really good uncle because
Word.
he started off. I mean, he kind of loosely understood what E3 was, kind of in a way. That's where the conversation kind of talking about. But what my takeaway from it from it's like he's a good uncle because that's how he's bonding with his nephews.
Word.
So that was my take from it.
Word. I'm surprised you didn't give me any funny looks because I was asking him the questions like I didn't know what he was talking about. You're just like carrying on like, oh, okay, this is interesting. Like you said nothing. I was surprised that I thought you were gonna say something about it. I was like, so yeah, so what is Fortnite? And he was going into it, giving all the description, and I was like, this is okay. You do pretty good. And you know what? He understood Fortnite better than I did because I don't play the game like that. I really don't. So I think you did a fantastic job, though.
Well, no, I wasn't going to. I mean, I figured it's just starting a healthy conversation. Who am I to come in? I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what Fortnite is?
Yeah, yeah. What's up,
So,
Solab? What's happening? We're
so
chilling
that's I just like let it be and just a nice conversation. Hey, Solip. See, he's another person. We came across him
in passing,
one
in
time
passing.
in E3, and yet alone this one guy I don't know. I saw at least at least 15 times
That's
in passing.
crazy.
I don't know why. Oh my
Maybe he
goodness.
was looking for you. That's why you kept seeing
No,
him
it's not
like
like we
5 or 6
stopped. It's
times.
not like we stopped because I don't think he remembered that we had this conversation. But it's like every single time I passed him, I'm like I wish it was that easy for me to find. I don't know, Black Oni or I don't know. It was just so bizarre to me. I'm like, how is it that I keep coming across you?
See, okay,
Nothing against that guy, okay? It's nothing against that guy. It's just that, you know, we're not friends.
we're not friends. We're not trying to hang out or anything.
Yet here you are. Maybe I should have just like went with it and be
So,
like, hey, let's just be
so hey,
friends because
so
fate's telling us to.
you should have been friends. Did you like exchange like socials or anything?
No. So this is gonna make me sound super elitist or something like that. Because
Uh-oh.
I felt like that. So while we are talking at PC Gaming Show and he was wearing the breakaway shirt, we had time to kill, so I approached him. I don't mind going up and talking to perfect strangers and starting a conversation. So I went up to this guy's like, hey, I love that game. It's really sad that, they closed down. And he's all like, yeah, I paid for this shirt.
Mm,
Paid for this shirt. Shirt was
okay.
free. Free. Who made you pay for this shirt? Oh, I wanted it from them. I paid for it. I paid for the game too. Paid for the game? The
How
game
did
was free.
what is he talking
Like,
about?
what are
Like,
you paying for? Because if you were paying for something, and he started going off onto these things and just trying to like, I don't know, like play himself up. First of all, I really don't dig that kind of things. I'm like, I
wait,
just wanted to
because you
start the
spent
conversation.
money?
I don't know because he started going in on it and about like he was trying to show that he knew a lot more about that game,
Okay.
which was kind of weird. It was really really weird. I'm like, okay, I don't know if
Sounds
you're
weird.
trying to impress me or something like that, but I'm like the worst person that you could be possibly impressing about a game I absolutely love.
Right, right.
And it was so weird. He kept going, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." And then I just went. It was like, "Yeah, are you part of the Discord?" He's like, "There's a Discord." Yeah, there
Oh,
was.
man.
He's like, I didn't know about that." It's like, "Yeah, I'm the community manager for it." And
Mm.
and here's my boyfriend, who's, if you watched it at TwitchCon, because you said you went to TwitchCon, he was one of the Elite Eight players that introduced and showcased the game.
Mm.
And then like his entire persona changed after that. I'm like, I don't know if you're trying to impress me. I don't know why you would try to impress me about a game like this, but
Was
we're
I
the
know
two
why.
worst persons that you could possibly be doing that with right now.
What was that a makeup day for you?
Every day was a makeup day for
Yeah, I
me.
know. I know. That's the point.
No, every day
That's the
was.
point. That's probably why he was trying to impress you. He said that you were like doing your thing and he was like, hey, I'm going to try. So you saw him like 5 or 6 times. So he was like, I got to say something that's going to impress this girl.
Yeah,
And he
that's
probably didn't know that Gutter was your boyfriend.
no, he walked up after. It was
Yeah, see,
funny, and
that,
it's
that
always
explains it.
interesting to deal with that because they'll have like a different, like suddenly it just changes. I'm like, oh, all of a sudden you don't want to impress me now,
No, that changes the whole thing. That
huh?
makes sense now. Okay, so any other stories? Tell me other stories that because we separated for a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Because we were doing different things at different times. For it was brief though. It was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. All right, I'll meet you here at 3:45 or 11, whatever the time was for whatever it was. So what happened when I wasn't with you? So fill me in on those bits if you remember any of them.
I don't know. I was just trying to like see what was out there on the show floor.
Okay.
See what was missing, and I feel like I still miss so much. Like, I feel like there was times where we were about away for a good amount, but even then, I feel like I only saw like a quarter of what was on the show floor. Because I'm still
Right.
seeing pictures that people are posting and sharing, and I'm like, where was that?
Right, right.
And then I'll kind of see what's like also around in the photos. Like they'll have that main thing, and then like you'll see what the booths are on the side. I'm like, I was there. I
Word.
don't remember seeing that,
Word. Thanks for the
but
follow,
it was.
Sola.
It was kind of a lot to just take in, and I tried to snipe myself some free cookies because the Fortnite booth had free cookies apparently, and they were really good. And every time I went, they were gone.
Right, right, right.
I bought a couple things.
True, true.
The only reason why I even ended up being able to buy something is that it was a Ubisoft store booth,
Okay.
and it was like the first time that I saw that nobody was in the line. It was nobody there. Like I could just walk right in. So I was like, "Oh my God, okay, this is my opportunity." Jumped in there, grabbed two things and walked right out. On my way out, I want to say I was in there for probably less than 3 minutes.
Mm.
On my way out, the line was just long and wrapped down again. I'm like, "Perfect timing." Any other time I would have
So,
not even stopped.
so here's the thing. Soleb's first E3 was this past E3. So, what was your favorite thing about the show?
Oh,
Soleb,
yes.
let us
Yes.
know in the chats. Let us know what was your favorite thing. So, when I left you a few times, one of the main times that we had a big gap was for Indicate, right? So we made that
Oh, that's
separation.
right. That's right.
So we went separate ways. I went to Indicate, so Polymega, Healing Spaces, Meet Me in the Garden, Floatland. You did Fractured Lands, and then there was some other things there that we can technically hit post show because the Indicate section, from what I understand, has its own site where we can tap in and see if there's any individuals that we can connect with and have a conversation with. So I'll say right now on record, because I definitely want to see if these conversations can happen. I want to make sure I pronounce her name right. Well, you say it. You were hanging out with her during E3. You introduced me at
Oh,
the Twitch booth.
Carice.
Carice. Mm,
Carice is it's like her username tag. It's Carrie Ann,
right.
but Carice, yes.
Yeah, we'll definitely want to chat with her on the show. That'd be dope. Honestly, running into everyone was representing Cinelinx, so I got to introduce them to a lot of old friends. Now that's dope. That's dope. It was good seeing you there, man. I mean, last time I think I saw you was a PAX, probably. Maybe one of my very first PAX back with SFX 360, if I remember correctly. That might have been
2011.
That
That is
might have
too
been. Well,
long.
I've never gone to West, so it's definitely going to be,
He's-
Apex or something. That was a long time ago. Yeah, moo cows and donuts. That's right. So it's been a really really long time, man. So yeah, it would have to go all the way back to around 2012 or something like that. So I enjoyed the show. So from the Indicate thing, we saw some other things on the show floor. We saw some of the chair companies, Ewin we talked to, Noble Chairs we talked to, and some other things. But so the last day, I mean, if we get any stories in and between that, we can definitely fill it in. But the last day was interesting because I was trying to get my flight, right? I did not have my flight yet. So we did the recording back at K-Town for E3 Reflections, which is now available on Spotify. So definitely check that out. We did that. And while we are doing that, we got the uh, notification that, I got my flight and all that, which was great. But the JW thing was really interesting to me because I was trying to get my shuttle, the super shuttle, to go to the airport, and we were having different conversations before you got there that night. And the last conversation we had with Oliver and Black Oni at one point, and then you were there, and then Gutter, and then this guy just walked up. Okay, so you could take it from there. Okay, and then we can fill that whole conversation because I wanted to make sure that we had this conversation because I thought I was crazy, but I don't think I'm crazy all the time. So take it away, Daniela. What happened with that conversation?
Okay, so oh well, first, so it says, love you guys, gotta go to
Sleep well.
sleep, stay in touch,
Sleep well.
sleep
Peace
well,
and hair
man.
grease, bro.
Thank you. Um, all right, so I want to say it was probably like around 2 o'clock in the morning by that time.
Yeah, it
Two
was about
o'clock in the
2 a.m.
morning. We were like such in a deep conversation with Ollie. I was loving the conversation with Ollie. I think of new people that I've gotten to meet this year, he's definitely top number one. So we were having this great in-depth conversation about Mass Effect, about video games, about everything. And this guy just comes strolling on up. Oh, you
Yeah.
guys are stragglers for V3? I'm like, sure. Why not? And he had like, first of all, I instantly get weird vibes from people. If I want to interact with somebody,
Keep it real, Daniela.
if I
All
if
the
I want to
way.
interact with somebody, I will. I
Yeah.
will. If I have good vibes from them, it's a completely different thing. So this person was giving me weird vibes to begin with, and so
Okay.
I didn't really show a whole lot of interest in having this conversation. Like I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you in our little circle here, but you're sitting across over there, whatever. I'm not going to really pay much attention.
Right.
And he had really weird ticks.
Right. Okay. So let's go with the fact that he was standing first, right? Obviously, everybody was sitting down. We're all sitting down, and then he did the card thing, right?
Yeah, he started handing out his cards. He had like 2 or 3 different cards for different things. And I'm like,
Okay.
well,
See, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. But
yeah,
go ahead.
because he gave Ollie one type of card, and I was kind of like looking at it, and it had different logos on it. So I didn't know if he was just so drunk and out of it that he was accidentally giving out, cards that he swapped by
Right.
accident. But I kind of like glanced over, and they all had his name on it. And then I got one copy of something, and then my boyfriend got something else. It was so bizarre. And then he
Okay. See, I
sits
didn't
he
know that.
sits he sits
Okay.
down. He
He
sits
sits down.
down,
He invites
and
himself.
yeah, and he starts listening in on the conversation, which I think personally that is a weird, like, no. Like, if you're meeting people for the first time and they're having this conversation and it's very obvious that it sounds like a very, we were all leaning in to listen to what Ali had to say, and I was just so wrapped up in that. I mean, those are kind of like social cues where, like, maybe you shouldn't come and sit into people's conversations
Right.
and be a part of it when you were never welcomed.
Right. Right. Right.
That's kind of it. But it was his nervous ticks that were bothering me. That was like an instant thing because what he kept doing, like I kind of fidget myself, but
Right.
he would constantly just like he was like sit like this, and if you just rub his head and he'd be like doing this like constantly, and then he'd do it on this side and he'd do this constantly, and I'm like, what are
Right.
you doing? Do you have that
Right.
bad of dandruff or
See,
or what?
I
And
didn't
he's
see
just
that.
it
So
was
so
weird.
here's so here's why I didn't see that, and I'm gonna let you continue. All the things I didn't see because I was so wrapped up in trying to figure out why Super Shuttle was full and I could not get a ride and moving money around to figure if I can get an Uber at 5 a.m., which was like 3 hours away. And Therese had just left like 20 minutes before that, right? If I remember correctly. And then so I'm all caught up in trying to do that. So I'm not even engaged in the conversation after my spidey sense went off when the guy first got there. So I was already checked out. So you're in and out, you glance over at me, it looks like I'm being completely rude because I'm not even engaging with the guy being there and what you guys are doing. And then yeah, so yeah, get back to where you were.
Well, I didn't think you were being rude. I knew that you were trying to handle some stuff and manage that. I didn't think it was kind of being rude. I knew I was like visually, my facial reactions to him talking was just like,
What
shut up,
was he saying? What was
shut
he
up.
saying?
Okay, so we were talking about Well, we were talking about a whole bunch of things. We were talking about EA. We were talking about Mass Effect, and then he started dropping numbers about like um how much money was put into like Scalebound and why that was canceled and what caused it, and he again started boistering like he was like bigger person than he was, which kind of like if if I didn't know, Ollie, and I didn't understand what his position was and where he's been in the industry and everything that he's done, I might have believed this person about some things. But it's just like, well, what you're saying, these statements and what your facts are don't even make any
Right.
sense. I don't know why you're including it. And then he started talking about, he's like, yeah, I have a company in Tokyo, because Ali mentioned about his studio and the locations that
Right.
they're working in, and he's like, oh, well, I love to get companies going up in Tokyo. You should get in contact with me, and I can get you a place for really cheap. And
I remember hearing that.
I was like, in my head, I'm like, just shut up, just shh, shh, shh.
So you already knew he was kind of like weird even before
Well,
he sat down.
yeah, it is. And then when he started leaning in, well, okay, the number one confirmation that I knew something was weird is that when he leaned in to give me his business card, his eyes were so dilated. I was like, bro, what are you on? Go away.
So that's when you were still sitting down, and I went towards the reception desk, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's happening. You guys are doing that. I'm wondering what's happening over there, and I couldn't really get there because I was trying to figure this thing. So I got up. When I got up, if I remember correctly, somehow we were just getting ready to talk about podcasts, and it's almost like that was my exit out. Okay. I don't know what happened with that. And I heard something about podcasts, and then somebody said, yeah, Andrew and Daniella, they do great podcasts and stuff. And right as I heard that, which is so weird. So it wasn't planned, okay? It was not
Mm-hmm.
planned. As soon as I heard that, I'm getting up and I'm walking towards the reception desk at the JW to figure out if I could use their machine or their thing. So, but I was already done with the whole conversation. My thing is what it seemed to me like, why was he still there? Like, was he being entertained by you guys to figure out what he was about, or what was happening when I was gone from the podcasting exit in the conversation?
I think he was just trying to he was name dropping when you shouldn't be name dropping. Like, uh, I don't know who he thought again, like the first person. I don't know what you're trying to impress. Um, does it look like the three of us are easily impressed by, whoever you're going to name? And I'm like, cool, that's nice, dude. But at the same time, I mean, if you want to know why he was sticking around, it's kind of like, well, why does anybody who's high on any drug do anything?
Word.
I
Okay.
don't know what drug he was on, but that guy, he was definitely on something. His eyes were so dilated. Um, he was far too jittery for just any normal person. Like, not even a person that's nervous would ever have these weird tics. And he would sit there and he was like kind of digging at the palm of his hand too at the same time. If he wasn't rubbing and
See,
scratching his
I
head,
didn't see that.
he
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I pay attention to too many people's like body movements. And I
Word.
wanted to make sure that I'm aware about who this perfect stranger is, what they're gonna do, because, well, there was literally nobody else there at the JW. We like stayed till they cleaned out and everything.
Yeah, we did.
But you know what's funny is that I wasn't as bothered by him as I was by like the people that were sitting behind us.
Oh, you mean them?
Them, yeah.
They were having a very good time.
I
Okay.
People who have those types of good time, you know what? There's this is why you're in a hotel. You go up
They
to your
didn't want to
room
go
and you have
upstairs.
that
No.
kind of good time. I have no clue. But it was so, like, I'm not a prude. You're gonna do that, go ahead, whatever. I just, like, every time I turned around, it was something different that was happening.
It was crazy.
And I'm like,
It was,
I I'm just gonna go the long way to walk to the restroom.
it
Because
was crazy in there.
yeah, it really was. And I'm like, man, JW
So
after dark over here.
yeah, it was. So then I'm sitting here trying to, type on the machines at the receptionist area, and nothing's working. It has all this, hotel branding and stuff like that, which it should. I get it. But I couldn't get what I needed done with the calling the super shuttle. When I called them, they told me, hey, we don't have anything. If it says we don't have anything, then on the app, then we probably don't have anything if you call. So I'm like, okay, then this is pointless, this conversation. Goodbye. So
Hmm.
that happened. So now, a few minutes pass, so it felt like forever. Then everybody's walking out, right? I don't know if anything happened in between that. Then you guys walk towards me to the left a little bit, asked me if everything was okay. And I'm like trying to figure this thing out, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, every time you guys asked me a question, I felt that it wasn't time for me to have a conversation because this random dude was there. I was not saying anything
But
for the
we,
most
we
part.
we were just like, I didn't want to end the conversation with Ollie, but it was at the same time almost 3 o'clock in the morning. You had to
Right.
go do things. We still needed to pack.
Right.
Um, so yeah, this guy's like, yeah, I'm gonna be going now too. I guess I should
Right.
go. And he starts walking out the front with us as if
Right. So
he's
he's
got
walking
some
out.
direction to go,
Right.
just to get
Okay.
out the front door, make a 180 and walk right back in. As if
Right, right.
like,
Okay. So
oh.
so before the 180, okay, that's when I had it because I was trying to figure out where this guy was going to stop like his thing, whatever his thing was. So I'm like, "Hey, Daniela, I got the Uber." You're like, "No, I got it." And I said, "No, I got it." And you're like, "No, no, no, I got it." So then you already started having it because you started dialing the thing. So fine, Daniela, you can have it. Okay, fine. So then you get it, and then this guy goes, "Hey, where are you guys headed?" And then I don't know who said, if it was Gutter or you, or somebody said, "Yeah, going to K-Town, stuff like that." He was like, "Hey, I can give you guys a ride," and I'm like, "Bro, no." That's what I
Stranger
had it.
danger.
That's what I had. I said, "Bro, you're not giving us a ride. Thanks, but no thanks." Okay, so that's when he did the walking thing, where he walked towards the left of the hotel aimlessly, then makes the U-turn, goes back inside the hotel, makes a right, and then disappears. Okay, so that was one of the craziest things I think that happened during any of the E3s that I've been blessed to go to. That was really weird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really strange. But I didn't know he was high on anything. I couldn't tell because I was so busy on my phone. So that was a crazy thing. So that's what happened at E3 to us, not to anybody else. It was just us. So that's what's going on with that interesting time there. Any final thoughts, additional thoughts before we go on?
Mm, okay, so one of the breaks, now that you bring up the Indicate and you did those interviews, I was actually extremely late for about a bunch of stuff because something that I thought I had time to do, and I was trying to
Okay.
find like time to fit it in, was to go and check out Skull and Bones.
Word.
So, yeah, Justin Farron, creative director for, Ubisoft and Skull and Bones. That was actually a huge surprise. Okay, I'm gonna say that entire experience and everything, that was my highlight because um day one, we didn't actually really go down to the show floor for majority of the day. I think we hit the show floor at the end of the day, and we got to meet Scarecrow Studios and the lovely Pavlina. And that was the only thing that we actually really checked out on the show floor. I think we just kind of eyed and get some bearings of where a couple like booths were, but other than that, that was it. And then I woke
Right.
up on I think Tuesday morning with a DM of like, "Hey, come play my game." And I'm like,
Nice.
and I was like,
Yo,
I thought that was like so funny
come play
and
this
so
joint.
so sweet at the same time. And I'm like, all right. And we just had so much things in running around that it's like almost kind of difficult to just make it. And I really wanted to, so I didn't get to do that till the third day. And I think we had like an hour to yeah, we had like an hour. Originally it was just an hour because I was actually supposed to meet you for Nintendo, I think.
Word.
And yeah, I didn't know that the demo was a good like 25 minutes. And I mean,
That's a good
I
chunk of
got
time too.
it is. I didn't know that's how long the demo was, and I did get the like the nice little fast pass, and I ended up talking with him and chatting, um, uh, which I loved. It was a really nice, relaxed conversation. I think I would love to interview him in a more personal setting because I knew at that point when I finally got to talk to him, he was actually also doing the demos for in the Ubisoft office upstairs in the meeting rooms. So he had only so much time as well on the showroom floor. So it was just a nice conversation. I love that I finally got to talk with him because we follow each other on Twitter. And it's always like in passing thing. I have this weird thing, this weird mentality in me that if if a developer or somebody who's working on a game follows me and it's a mutual thing, I hate like trying to ask them about their work. I'll talk about it casually, but I'm not gonna be like one of those people of like, oh, I can get the ins because, you know, we're like mutually following mutual friends. I don't ever want to feel like I'm trying to take advantage of this thing, so I don't really dive too much into it. Cause I mean, they want to talk about their games too, and I want to talk about their
Right.
games, but I want it to be in a very natural way because I want to foster that type of friendship. So we just ended up talking, and somehow we got to the conversation of their, I guess, their world premiere of Skull and Bones last E3. And I was telling them, I was like, yeah, I was actually home still. I didn't fly out yet. And I was cooking breakfast, and I heard the song that they chose. I wasn't immediately in at my TV or my computer. Actually, I was actually on my computer watching, and I heard the song, and I recognized the song instantly because it was my cousin.
Nice.
I instantly recognized the song. They're like, "Oh, really? That was your cousin's song that did the seal cover thing?" I was like, "Yeah, that is." Like, "Oh, we didn't even know that." So he brings over, somebody who does the marketing. His name's Christopher. And started talking and chatting about that. And I was like, my cousin's gonna love this. And I ended up like messaging my cousin and like talking to these guys. They said they love your song and like it just fit so perfectly. And she didn't even. The funny thing is that she didn't even know that they chose her song for it.
That's interesting.
And that's a whole other thing that I learned about is that so basically on her end, she creates music and then her publishers or her label or whatever, puts it out there. And what they did, it's almost kind of like a stock photo kind of thing.
Right.
Whereas like you create the photos and then it's put into this pool and you don't know what people do with it, but somehow
Right. Right.
you'll get some license for it, you'll get paid for it and like, okay, yeah, that's good. I got paid for, X song that was used into this. And my cousin's not really a gamer. She just produces and makes music and sings. It's her
So she
passion
would
is.
never know they used the song
Yeah.
unless
Unless like she knows when they used
somebody
her
knew.
song in movie trailers and TV trailers.
Right.
She knows that, but when it comes to like the video game thing, she didn't even know. And I was like, "How did you not know that came out last year?" She was like, I don't know, but that's awesome. If they ever want to work with me again, let me know."
You know, right?
Kind of thing, because that's her style, and it fits so well. So we ended up talking about that, and I gave him my cousin's information, and it was fun and it was a good conversation to the point that's where I kind of lost track of time. And then I was like, oh, right, there's a game here that I'm still going to play.
Right, right, right.
So I think even during that time, Kojima-san, he was walking the showroom floor at the same time that we were talking. And he didn't exactly stop. I would have loved if he stopped. I would love to have met him. But he was just followed by so many people in suits, and I don't think they didn't look like security. The security guys in the suits were in the further outer part of the circle. And I kind of felt bad because Kojima-san was, he was walking, he was looking at everything, checking on stuff, and you could see him slowing down in front of the Skull and Bones booth. And he
Right,
starts to raise and point as if like, oh my God, Kojima-san, you can totally have my spot and play this game if you want to play this game. I don't have to
right,
play it.
right,
I'll
right.
stand over your shoulders and watch you play it. But like he was about ready to stop, and I think Justin was about to go and approach him because maybe they mutually know each other, and then like this guy in this blue suit just like shovels Kojima-san on, like, oh, he can't even enjoy E3.
Wow. So they were there to keep him focused on wherever he needed to be.
Yeah, pretty much. Which I guess I can understand that. I mean, even somebody as as well known as popular, and so many people want to work with Kojima. I mean, he's still a fan of video games. He still wants to see what's out there.
Word.
Felt bad, but it was definitely an interesting experience. And then I missed out on so much. But
There was a
I
lot
get
there.
I
There was
get
definitely
lost
a
in
lot there.
conversations, especially good conversations.
There was a lot there. And then you had the 7 a.m. cyberpunk thing. That was interesting. Heading over there as early as possible.
I
I
don't
was
even
able
want to
to.
see. I don't even want to see anybody's pictures of cyberpunk.
I'm
That's
not.
how
I'm not.
salty I am. I am
I'm staying
salty.
off. I'm
I'm
staying off
salty.
when it comes to that. Right. At least right now. So
You did you see
let me see.
Paris's picture of that of his face walking out of the cyberpunk demo?
Yes, I saw that. I'm trying to figure out, can I even, no, I can't even have this count. No, what I want to say, I can't say it yet. I
Okay.
don't think it's clear for me to say. Um, I had to play it in my mind where it was and where the conversation took place, and it didn't play out in public, so I have to keep it where it played out. But I'm excited for it. I'll say that. I'm excited to see. There's also a first look in our notes from the PlayStation blog, I believe. So I'll link that for the individuals who did not read up on it yet.
You know
So
what's
that's
great?
there. What's up?
We didn't even actually start the real part of our show yet.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't because there's a lot to cover. There's a lot to cover. Like one of the things I definitely wanted to make sure that we did, especially this time around, especially for coverage, is all the stuff that took place at CE Week, the couple of things. Okay, so Pepcom, I barely got to Pepcom. It was a very last minute decision for me to hop on the car to head to training and all that. So I got a couple of sound bites from Pepcom, which will be coming out. I think I'll say next week for now because I'm still posting the blog post for CE Week because I think I'm like 4:30 on the website right now, and I need to go all the way up to 4:46, which makes this
I like how you
a
say
bit
a
of
couple
cover.
sound bites. A couple.
A
Couple
couple of
to
sound
me
bites.
is like
What do you want me to
two.
say? What do you want me to say?
A couple to me is two.
What do you want me to say?
Yours
It's
is
a
more like
couple.
20. Yeah,
Listen.
that's like several.
We gotta put this. We gotta get this grind in. We gotta get it in. So that's what's going on. So all the episodes are already available on the audio side of things. So if you're on the Spotify's, the Google Podcast, the Apple Podcast, you can get that right now. And listen to it. So that's what's going on with that. And now, Daniela, I think we can kind of move on to the actual stuff
Can actually
that we
start on
have.
our show here.
Yeah, which will run down pretty quickly because these things are pretty quick hits. So Pocketcast is a great player for podcast stuff, which is amazing. They're doing an open beta. You have that. Google Podcast releases a very, very light app. Instagram's IGTV. Any comments on those things?
I want to figure out that Instagram IGTV thing. I think that's a very
Okay.
interesting new add-on. I don't.
Right.
So okay. So first of all, it's you can upload up to 1 hour worth of video.
Up to 1 hour.
I don't
Vertical
know
only.
who's gonna be watching something on Instagram for an hour. Like I can
Yeah.
understand Netflix. I can understand watching stuff on YouTube.
Right.
Um, I don't know about Instagram. And like you said, it's in
It's
vertical.
vertical only.
Who
Yeah.
who who records video in portrait?
Right.
Like
How does it go? In
in
portrait.
portrait? Like who? Like I don't know. And those people who
Okay.
do record stuff in portrait, I mean, I don't trust you. I don't trust you with the phone.
Okay.
It was definitely I understand kind of why they stuck with it because that is, Instagram's thing. They don't really do the whole landscape. It doesn't make sense. But if you're going to be watching something that somebody uploaded, um why not make it so that landscape is at least an option?
Right.
So, and then who's going to be oh my God, I would be so irritated if I had to edit video in portrait mode. I couldn't
I
do
have
it.
an idea. But I'll save it.
Okay.
It's for me and you. I'll
Okay.
share with you afterwards.
Okay.
But no, the vertical thing is pretty neat, as you mentioned. It's a foundational thing that we've come to love, most of us, as it relates to Instagram. So up to an hour is great. I think up to 3.5 gigs, I think it is, according to the space, uploading the thing on there. And there's going to be some apps, I'm sure, that will be coming out for you to record and edit or even turn your video and make it vertical, which I'm sure somebody's going to be up on that in the marketplace to make it easy for you to do that.
Sure.
So it's going to happen. I think it's exciting to see the platform, set itself up to compete with the YouTubes and those other platforms as far as uploading content is a thing. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I think it's definitely something I want to explore. But the vertical thing, it's going to be interesting to see how we can work with that. It's going to be fun.
You can work with it.
Nice. Very nice. I'll see. We can have some fun with that. We can figure something out. So IGTV, the podcast app for the Google. Do you care about that?
I don't like having multiple apps for the same thing.
Okay.
Excluding services like Netflix and Hulu because you can't get certain shows on all platforms. But
Okay.
I have Pocketcast. I like it.
I like
I'm
it.
gonna stick with that. I don't like that is my go-to end all be all.
What are you
So,
listening to now? What's your thing? What's your top 5 shows?
I don't
Daniella's
okay,
top picks.
right now, like as far as I haven't been listening to as much like gaming or tech podcasts lately. I
So
think the
what are
last
you
one was
listening
Gamer
to?
Tech. I've kind of just been feeling out random ones to see what hits me right now. That's what I'm kind of doing.
Okay.
And you know what I realize is such a big, I guess, genre that I didn't think there was, is that how many of them are dedicated, how many podcasts are dedicated to talking about unsolved murders or unsolved cases.
Yeah, the mystery stuff. Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, wow. And you people really dedicate your life into finding out information about, this happened in 1973 and and just playing it out and talking about all these possible things and what happened. I was like, that's some in-depth stuff. So I'm kind of been bouncing around in between some of those. None of them have really like super caught my attention to be like, I have to listen to this every
Okay.
week. But I'm just considering it's such a big genre and there's so many of them, I'm like, there's got to be something to this. So that's why I kind of been just jumping through to see, if I enjoy it or not.
Okay. So maybe it's me. You haven't given me a show yet, or two, or three.
No, I really don't remember the name of them right now.
Okay.
That
All
is,
right.
so
That's
it's
fine.
like, I don't have any names because those that I've been bouncing between, I haven't really like liked
Okay.
enough to bother to remember the name. So
Okay.
I'm still looking, but right now I
All
just
right.
haven't really been listening to any gaming podcasts or any tech podcasts.
So you know Oprah's got her show, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's a mix of a lot of different voices and guests. I like Oprah's Super Soul.
Well, if you're
Yeah,
gonna
that's
go
the
on that, there is one person that I wish did have a podcast, and I have
who's
actually
that?
been enjoying watching it. Jada Pinkett Smith.
Oh,
So
sweet.
she doesn't have a podcast. She actually has a Facebook series. I
With
guess you
the
could say it's like a
fam?
web series. Yeah, called the Red Table Talk.
Okay.
And I wish that was a podcast.
Nice.
I love the topic of conversations, and her videos can be anywhere between 3 minutes and like 20 minutes, 20 plus minutes.
So who
And
is she talking to? Moms and
it's her
right.
mother and her daughter, and sometimes she'll have a guest on there, and they just talk about life and, you know, let's see, the one I started listening to is like the relationship that she has with her mother, how it was different from the way that she raised her kids, and how they were, people picked apart how they chose, they being Jada and Will Smith, to raise their
Right.
kids, and the type of relationship that they have, what it was like growing up, her from being from Brooklyn, and how her mom raised her, and the different mindsets. What else was there? Um, like having to raise children with the mindset and creativity that Jane Smith and Willow have. There was actually one that was I really 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 liked, and it was like during May. I think she had a whole bunch of like Mother's Day team themed ones too, because Will Smith's first son isn't hers. Obviously, he was from a previous marriage, and how it was navigating being this like stepmom or bonus mom raising out somebody's kids, and how good of a relationship she now has with Will Smith's ex-wife.
Mm,
And it was like it's just such good topics, and I've actually been super enjoying that this last like 2 weeks.
nice.
So I wish she had a podcast. If she did, that would be definitely number one on my thing. I've not listened to Oprah's, but you bringing up Oprah, that I made me think of her.
Word. So you said 2 weeks. So was it how many times a week do they give the show?
I think it's a once a week thing, but since I'm only
Got
just
it.
finding about it now, I'm just going back
Got it.
and
Catching up.
watching and listening to it. The reason why I found it because I enjoy following Will Smith's Instagram account. That man makes some crazy stories, and I love them all. And yeah, I kind of found one that he was talking about in his wife's show called Red Table Talk, and I'm like, oh, I'll go and look that on Facebook, and it was actually really, really, really good.
Word. Yeah, they do good stuff. They're good stuff. Okay. So next thing we have Amazon's Prime Day leak. It's a little bit later this year from what I understand. It's July 16th. Any comments on that?
Too broke to be thinking about buying anything on Amazon Prime. I'm not kidding. The moment we came back, I booked our Airbnb for TwitchCon. I paid for our
Word.
flights to TwitchCon. I didn't
Sheesh.
want to do that, so soon after E3, but I couldn't pass up on the deals on the prices. I couldn't.
Yeah, it
TwitchCon,
seems.
yeah, TwitchCon, the housing. First of all, we're gonna have about 7 people staying with us. It's gonna be 7 people
What?
altogether. Yeah, yeah. I had to find a whole house that was not gonna cost an arm and a leg, and it was at least relatively close. So it's like 2 miles away from the convention center, which I think that's really great. Sure, it's not across the street like everybody wishes it to be, but at this point, finding a housing for 7 people where nobody has to sleep on the floor or the couch, that's only 2 miles away, I take that as a win. So we found a
Nah,
four
that sounds
bedroom.
pretty good.
Yeah, we found a 4 bedroom house, and I think it came down to like $1,500 for 5 days. So I'm like, that's not
That's
bad.
pretty good. That's
That's
pretty
not bad.
good.
And then the flights, I was gonna hold off on flights because when I was looking at prices before we left for E3 and when I came back, initially came back from E3, the flights to San Jose were like $900 to $1,000 round trip.
Mm.
I'm like, I can't afford to book that. I need to like save up money and hopefully they drop in prices. And somebody got like a Google alerts, which I didn't know that was a possible thing to do. That Google can alert you on when a price drops on a certain flight or a hotel.
Nice.
So that $900,000 round trip ticket was only $357.
Mm.
So I'm like, yes, I will book that for $700 cheaper. I will not even second guess that because buying 2 round trip tickets is still cheaper than the 1 round trip ticket when I was first originally looked at it.
Wow.
So I'm like, and I will buy that. So Amazon Prime Day week, I'm not even going to bother to tempt myself right now. You have no idea how hard it is for me to not open Steam because the Steam summer sale is going, and that's only 99 cents.
Mm. Interesting.
Yeah. And the
There's a lot
thing
going
is
on.
I want stuff from Amazon right now too. I
Yeah.
think I have like
Yeah.
8 wish lists on Amazon.
Yeah. Wish list is pretty neat. You know, you put it to the side, you get ready to, you look at it for a couple of weeks. You're like, I want to get you right now, but I can't. There's different things going on. So yeah. So I completely feel you on that. But we'll get there. We'll get there. So definitely congrats on the TwitchCon stuff though. That sounds
Yeah, so
amazing.
just waiting. We're just waiting on badges. Badges go on sale the first week of July.
Mm.
I think last year the badges were like $180.
That's crazy.
I wish I could be a little bit more of a gap between this money spending, but
Should apply for press.
maybe I'll go and look at that. Like I
See.
am I'm trying to still. This is only my second day of having my computer back. I had to go 2 weeks without it, which I think
Word.
I want to invest into a laptop.
Okay.
Speaking of which, okay, so what I ordered my replacement power supply from Newegg. Just a power supply, nothing else. Got that. They are so tricky with their advertising because they're like, oh, thank you, confirmation. The following day from Newegg, I got an email. It's like, oh, you see that you might have forgotten something from your shopping list. And it lists like a motherboard, a CPU. I'm like, no,
Oh no.
I did not forget. I didn't. And it's funny because they only listed the parts for the things that I want to upgrade, which is my
Right.
motherboard and my CPU. I'm like, how did you know? Why didn't you tell me to get a graphics card? Why not more memory? No, you
They
listed
know how
two
to do it.
things that I really do want to upgrade. But no, I did not forget about it, okay? Stop telling me these things.
They
And then,
want you to buy it.
of course they do. And Amazon's good too because Amazon likes to send me these push notifications based on your shopping history. There's this and it's on sale right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah, that's how they get you.
no. Yeah, they
You're like,
sometimes
no,
sometimes they win too.
they're not gonna get you.
No, because my credit card's looking at me like, nah, bro, we can't afford this right now.
You can't. We don't have life right now. We need
No,
more 18.
we're tapped out.
That's crazy. So yeah, so that's what's going on with that exciting stuff. Prime, I may have to leave alone because what I really want is that adapter. Because I really want to run some tests locally with some video and see how it sounds. And so that's going to be something in the near future. So we'll think about that in the near future. Definitely want to do some ad stuff here. This episode is brought to you by ProXPN. ProXPN is a free, easy-to-use VPN service that secures your internet connection against eavesdropping, masks your location, and allows you to access your favorite sites no matter where you live or travel to. To get 20% off your account, visit theshowradio.info/ProXPN and use promo code SHORAM for 20% off the lifetime of your account. This podcast also brought to you by Blue Apron. Blue Apron makes cooking fun and easy. Blue Apron provides you with all the ingredients that you need to make a delicious meal in exactly the right proportions. To get $30 off your first Blue Apron order, visit theshowradio.info/Blue Apron. Video game news. Daniella, GameStop might get purchased by somebody. What do you think about that?
Long as it's not Amazon.
You know, it might be.
I know. It could be a lot of things, but I don't think I don't think Amazon should. What was it? What was the other company? EA? Wasn't EA also rumored to be interested? Oh no, EA bought GameFly, right? No. EA shouldn't buy anything either. You ruined everything, EA.
So that might happen. This Amazon GameStop thing is heavy rumors for that right now.
I don't know. Maybe it'd be great for them because I think GameStop needs something to revitalize it. I feel that soon enough we're gonna start seeing closeouts of GameStop too. I mean, we have what, Circuit City closed down, Kmart closing down. Like there's a lot. Sports Authority is closing down. A lot of brick and mortar stores.
Russ is out of here.
Yeah, so there's a lot. GameStop can very, very well easily be on that list too of like, Sayonara, we don't need you anymore.
Word.
Speaking of which, kind of off topic, kind of on topic, I went to my GameStop yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
You know what the one thing I went to go and look at for and see if they had? Lucid Sounds. They didn't have any in there.
How come?
I don't know. The guys that were working there seemed so lost about what I was asking too. Because we were talking about the guys over there, and they started working on distributing, Lucid Sound headsets at GameStop, and I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen it there. So maybe it just has to be just my location, and it has to do with that shipping, because there's a lot of things shipping to Hawaii that just can't make it via plane. A lot of it has to be, boarded over, and a lot of companies don't like paying that whole freight shipping to Hawaii, so... I was a little bit sad. I was hoping to go and find some inside there and see. But they got Astros. Astros and Turtle Beaches. I'm like, why don't you have
all of them? Or just
they had the 10s. Well, at least on stock on the wall, they had the A10s, the A40s. They had almost what seemed like the entire line of Turtle Beaches over there. So, no Lucid Sounds.
Okay, so can they get them? Like if you say, well, yeah, I want to get this model, LS31 or LS41, can they bring them in? Special order?
It wasn't showing up on top of their SKU. To even like,
darn.
It was weird. So maybe it's just like not in Hawaii. All the GameStops in the mainland, but not in Hawaii.
Interesting.
Maybe in the future. Because that's still something new. Because I think Lucid Sounds, when we were talking with them, they only have one model of their headsets in there in the GameStop stores. So I think that's still a very new partnership that they're working through. So maybe I'm just not patient enough. I just where it goes.
We'll see.
Those headsets were nice. Okay, they were.
Yeah, they were.
That wireless one for the God of War.
Yeah, I felt like I was, the God of War playing that. I think it was crazy. It's pretty dope. So that's what's going on with that. Former Sony developer has said the great PlayStation 4 cross-platform block is all about the Benjamins, baby. I don't know if he said that. I just, added that in there. But that's really what it comes down to. And some people are really upset about that.
Yeah, okay. As a fan, sure, I'm upset because I think the whole it's but okay. First of all, you always think of these consoles. Even though most of the time it's between Xbox and PlayStation, they're always butting heads. That's like they're each other's competitors. And like I said before, Nintendo just does its own thing. But still, those are the three, the trifecta consoles over there. And you assume that they all are against each other. Oh my goodness. And Nintendo have no problem throwing any shade at all because they came up with that advertisement for the whole Fortnite thing. Because
Word.
basically is if you have your PlayStation account linked to your Epic account, you cannot use that account on either one of those platforms. Basically, you're locked out. You can't use them on any other thing. Um, yeah, as a fan, as a player, as somebody who plays Fortnite, it sucks. But is it really surprising that something like this is really the reason is because of money? Isn't it always because of money?
It is always about money.
That's like you can't be really surprised that that's why.
Nope. I'm going to try to move this laptop without disconnecting anything. You still
So,
with me?
yeah, I'm still
Okay.
with you. I kind of understand it at the same time. I mean, you're a business. You want to make money. You do. You're not gonna want. It's like, hi, I'm McDonald's.
Hi, McDonald's.
I don't want you bringing your Burger King into my restaurant and sitting inside over here and eating your food. Because I'm not making money off of that.
Hmm.
Please get out of my store. You know? That makes sense to me. Um, it's a weird thing coming from trying to see it from both sides of it. It doesn't affect me directly only because I will always choose to prefer to play it on my PC. So long as
There it
I
is.
can play
There it
with my
is.
friends, that's fine.
Okay.
I will never be able to like play with both my PlayStation and my Xbox friends at the same time, but at least I can, hey, so PlayStation friend, it's just going to be you and me today. We're going to leave the
Word.
Xbox friend out. Whereas Nintendo and Xbox like, we'll just play together.
Yeah. The cross-platform thing has always been a major issue for the consumers because the consumers are not necessarily looking at that whole thing from the business standpoint of the companies. So they get upset because they want to play with their friends and they cannot because, as you mentioned, the companies are about making that money. And people can't really get upset about that. But they will continue to get upset about that because most individuals, most consumers are not necessarily looking at it from the fact that it's the money that's keeping those transactions from happening. So
Yeah, it
it
is.
is
I
what it
mean,
is.
in a nice perfect world, it'd be great. It'd be absolutely great to be able to play all together. Doesn't matter what console, and that'd be a great future for gamers. Period. And it doesn't mean I don't want it to change. I just understand the reasoning behind
Right.
why Sony is saying no. And it's not like Sony's completely cut off. I mean, there's other games that are cross-platform and you can play, so they're not completely cut off from it. I mean, there's cross-platform to PC, but I'm not surprised. I'm not upset about
Right.
it. In the end, at the end of all, they're a business. They need to stay afloat. They need to, make their money somehow. It's sad that money is just the root of all evil, but it is what it is, and I'm not kind of
The love of it is the root of all evil.
it. Yes.
that's that's what it is. What else we got? The first episode of Life is Strange 2 arrives the 27th of September 2018. And also loot boxes are coming to Street Fighter 5. Any comments on those two things?
I know the big thing for Street Fighter is that Cody's coming out. I'm
Word.
kind of curious about the loot boxes, so I guess I'll ask my boyfriend about that. Life is Strange 2, before that, I'm glad that there's a little bit of a break in between, because when we went to go check out the adventures of Captain Spirit, is
Yep.
it Captain Spirit? Captain Spirit, yes. I want to definitely play that. That's free. That is coming free, I think, in the 26th of this month, I remember. So June 26th, I
Yep.
believe. That's free
You
to
got it.
play. I feel like I'm going to have to play through that a few times because they say that they have hints about what leads into Life is Strange 2
Mm-hmm.
that they have in this 2 hours worth of gameplay. So what we got to experience and watch and see at E3, I didn't see that. So I'm like, all right, I want to dive deeper into that. It's awesome that it's free. So for anybody that's listening, the,
I
the
actually want to
adventure,
play that.
it's free. There's no reason to not play it.
Well, I almost didn't play Zone of the Enders, and I know that's your thing. And I was like, I'll try it. Nah, I tried. I was like, it's really cool, but it's just not my thing.
My
So
thing. It's so my.
yeah, I know. I know. It was dope, but it was just not for me at this time or ever. I don't know. The PlayStation 4 BBC iPlayer app now has a 4K mode, Detroit Become Human. If that is your thing, the soundtrack is available on Spotify. Any comments on those two things?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
I still wanna do my second and third playthrough of Detroit Become Human. I need to get all these other options, and I'm hoping when I go back and check on the stats for the choice that I made that 0% of the world did, I want to see if that number went up. Because come on, I can't
Oh
be the most evil
man.
person. Apparently my stream thinks I'm a really terrible person for shooting animals in video games to begin with. So
Well, for at least you saved the fish.
I did save that fish, but you know what? It's
Yes.
only because I don't know. Somebody made a comment about or tweeted to me about shooting. I don't remember what it was in context. No, the tweet started off with out of context because I shot dogs in the division game, and
Mm.
then my response was
Like every time you play it?
almost.
Daniela.
I did it. I didn't shoot the Dalmatian because it was so few.
Oh my gosh.
But then my response to that was, "There's rabbits in Metro Exodus." I shot those too.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh.
I shot everything. That's silent.
I don't know what to do with that. Okay, so we'll move on. PlayStation 5's graphics architecture. That seems to be a conversation surrounding that. Everyone thinks that PlayStation is happening here tomorrow, but it's not. PlayStation 5 is going to be a while until it comes out. So this article talks about the architecture that's supposed to be running, and I'm just going to read this paragraph right here. Right now, little is known about AMD's Navi graphics architecture other than the fact that it will use the 7 nanometer process. That detail, however, is important as it has done numerous times with its semi-custom clients. AMD has a solid history of developing integrated and discrete GPUs with low power envelopes perfect for a console. If you want to read that article, the article is going to be in the show notes. It's coming from Forbes. I generally do not care what architecture is going to be run a particular console. I just hope that the console that I actually play is going to be a great experience. And even now, I'm still using the first PlayStation 4, even though the Pro's been out for a while. Any comments and thoughts on this, Danielle?
I'm about the same. I mean, it's nice to know those stats and those numbers, but I'm not the type to dive that deep into it. I can't remember what the numbers that Xbox was throwing out, but they obviously choose the much bigger, elaborate word, expanded number of something that's so simple to
Right.
make it sound so much better and grander, because it's one thing to say it's 16 megabytes, right? 16 megabytes. But when you say it's 16 million bytes, it sounds
Mm,
so much grander
huge.
than it is, because even though it's the same value, the fact that you're using the word million adds
Word.
so much more weight to it, and like people get drawn to that. And then they lose sight of like, that's almost the same, right? Just that.
Yeah, I
Not that
couldn't
much of
tell
a
you the
difference.
stats of the Xbox One right now. If you were to test me on the differences between the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, I would say the first generation. I think that's accurate. I couldn't tell you. The only thing I remember is that the PlayStation for a while did not have the external hard drive option. That came later. I remember that. And I think the PlayStation's running 8 gigs of RAM or something like that on the system. That's as far as I go. The Xbox can support up to, I don't know if it was 2 terabytes for the external hard drive. It's a lot. And you can stack a whole bunch. But outside of that, I couldn't tell you the processor. I couldn't tell you anything other than it plays the games that is supposed to play and connect is kind of dead. That's all. That's all I could tell you.
Well, I think it's just all marketing ploy to just get people to feel like they're just jumping in on something great. For me, all that matters to me is, does it run smoothly and does it look good?
Word.
That's it. As long as you can hit those two things, all right, we're on a great track here. I don't really care about the processing speed. As long as it's running my game, fine.
Mm.
As long as it's not
Do you
bogging down,
care?
as long as it's like, do I care?
Do you care about? No, go ahead. Finish your thought. I
I
was going
don't
to tell
I
you
don't
if you.
care about hearing the stats of it. I just care that, that it is an improvement off of its predecessor. That's kind of it.
Okay.
I don't need to know how many cores and what thermal paste they're using.
You don't care
I don't
about
I
that.
don't care about going that into depth. I feel it's definitely this thing because nobody remembers those things. Like you said, you don't remember. How many people remember all of those things? They don't. What they remember is their experience about how well it loaded up their game, how good it looked, how smooth it ran. That's what people remember, is the experience. They don't remember the numbers. Like, what are
Hmm.
you gonna do with, like, when somebody comes over, like, oh, check out my Xbox, check out my PlayStation. It's running this CPU with this NVIDIA
I
graphics.
I
Nobody
don't remember.
cares. Like, dude, what they're gonna
GTX
do?
1080 Super Edition.
Yeah, they don't care. They're gonna be like, look how great this water looks in
And I know somebody
Skyrim.
just took offense because I said GTX 1080 Super Edition. You could be offended. That's okay. I don't know. It is what it is. Okay, so do you care about PlayStation hits? Great games, great price,
When I have
Daniela?
money, sure I do.
Battlefield 4, Doom, Drive Club, Bloodborne, Infamous Second Son, Killzone Shadowfall, Last of Us Remastered, Little Big Planet 3, Street Fighter 5, Ratchet and Clank, Project Cars, Metal Gear 5, The Definitive Experience, Uncharted 4, A Thief's End, Yakuza, Kiwami, and Yakuza 0. Great games, great price, 19.99 MSRP. Hmm? Hmm?
Nope. Nope. I won't even spend 99 cents right now in a Steam summer sale. You're not going to get me to spend $19.99.
Mm, man, tough crowd, tough crowd. Beta edition, beta version of Beyond Good and Evil 2 is due for release towards the end of 2019. Creator Michel Ancel has recently said Paladins runs on 60 frames per second on Switch. Paladins is really a dope game. I really still dig that game. Any comments on those things? And I
And
skipped
they're
something. I'll go
they're
back to
they're
it.
going to be so many fans are jumping in on that beta version so quickly.
Mm.
I think that's going to be one of those hot betas that everybody is going to be searching and scouring the internet like, "Oh, do you have a free code? Who has this?" Which I have really weird interesting feelings about beta codes and games.
Hmm. Interesting.
Specifically
So,
beta codes for like console games.
word. There, we're gonna be like, we're gonna see begging on Twitter. Hit me up in the DMs. I got a batch of codes. Probably some people gonna sell them offline. It's gonna be some
Probably
crazy things.
it's a huge possible thing. Like my huge thing is I really dislike betas that you get access to it if you pre-order a game.
Mm.
I don't particularly like that because here you are, you have all these people, regardless of if they're going to buy the game or not, pre-ordering, putting down their $5 at GameStop or whatever it is to get this code. But the next thing you know, all of a sudden you have all these like, oh, I have 100 beta codes to give away. Like they make it sound like this beta is so exclusive that you have to go and pre-order it. But here you go, like 2-3 days before that beta goes live, you have how many people just throwing out codes all willy-nilly. I'm like, man, I'll hold my $5.
Okay. Hold your $5, Daniela.
I will.
Hold on to that. So that's what's going on with that. Discord game tab. What are your thoughts on that?
Mm, it's definitely interesting.
Okay.
They are testing out quite a few bit of things. I noticed that I had it for a bit. So I use two different types of Discord. So you have the Discord that's available open to everybody that everybody downloads. That if you go to their site, this is most likely the version of Discord that you're gonna get. And then I also have Discord Canary, which is like the PTR. It's their beta test version, so that before they roll out updates to the universal Discord thing, they have it there and they test it and everybody can see it. So I've had it for a little bit. Um, it's nice, different. I'm glad that they brought something back because they did have a looking for game section that they were testing out and they were trying. It wasn't perfect, but I think this is like they're like, here's our version 2.0, it's our games tab. Um, they are definitely, I feel like, trying to take on what is the Twitch app, which the Twitch app's just, I don't know what is with that thing at all. Like Discord, I feel like that's not really a real competition for you. I don't think anybody likes the Twitch app. I
Hmm.
think people forget this thing even exists. So
Hmm.
I have no qualms about it. It's
Fair
nice.
enough. Fair enough. Fallout 76, that will get a beta, and it begins first on the Xbox. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is finally backwards compatible on Xbox One. Comments on those things.
Here we are, betas and video games.
Love it.
Oh,
Love
but
it.
but for real, like even though Fallout's gonna be on all platforms, um, Xbox really start needs to start stepping up what they get exclusively first, at least. If they're not gonna have the biggest exclusive library, at least have moments like this where they'll have it first and people are gonna be drawn to it because I think that's the one thing that hurts Xbox the most.
Hmm.
No, there's like I was not, and I'm probably gonna get some like shade for this or hate for it, period. I was not impressed by the Xbox showcase at E3 whatsoever because
Because.
there was no, they didn't have any exclusive. I think they had two exclusive games. Every other game that they announced is going to be available on all other platforms. So really, how strong was their showcase?
Hmm.
That's how I feel about it. So they need something for like this, even if it is just temporarily.
Word, they need help. So I'm a little sad. I don't know if I told you. I'm a little
Like,
sad.
why are you sad?
Because of all the characters in the universe of Destiny, Cade 6 has been one of the series' most popular. So why did they just kill him off in the recent trailer that they announced? Why? Why is Cade dead? I'm
Maybe it was
sad
to
by
throw
that.
you off.
I'm sad by that. We're going to link an article in the show notes that talks about all that.
More
But
sad than... Never mind. I don't. I'm gonna be quiet on that one. I almost think
where
I
are you
might have...
going with this?
Nothing. I wasn't going anywhere.
You were going
I
somewhere.
was, but then I realized it was gonna be a spoiler, and I'll just keep my mouth shut. Even though I think it's already well known, I still keep my mouth shut.
Okay. So you can tell me what you're talking about later because I'm drawing blanks now. I'm trying to guess what you're talking about and I have no idea.
Infinity War.
Which I still have no idea because I didn't see it yet.
Well, then, see, I'm still not gonna tell you then.
Okay,
Because that's not nice.
Ready Player One is ready for me to watch. So that's probably gonna happen this weekend. I'm gonna enjoy that. And we can talk all about it because you saw it already.
I really
Y-
liked it, and I'm gonna go watch it
and
again.
yeah, yeah, it's available now at the awesome places that they are available at. Yeah. Why am I talking like this?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
So it's kind of
Before
weird.
you,
Also,
okay, go ahead. Maybe it was to throw you off because it would hit people that way. Because you would feel a certain way because everybody did like that character.
Cade is amazing, and now he's dead. And I hope he gets resurrected and becomes a new Cade, a little darker Cade.
Darker Kate.
That would be amazing. So that's what's going on with Destiny 2. Link in the show notes will be for that. Cyberpunk 2077, I added that because we've been talking about it a lot. The link in the show notes will cover an overview of what's to come, even though we're not going to get the game probably, 2019, 2020, maybe later. It looks
2077.
dope. 2077. I won't be around unless, something amazing happens. I'm still living. Um, the yeah, so that should be interesting to see the development of that, and hopefully sooner than later they decide to release that 50-minute special that we all can watch. I'm sure they're not going to do that um, now
Anytime
because
soon.
everybody's asking for it. It's going to be when nobody's asking for it probably, and we'll get the surprise. Check that out.
Um, well, okay,
Comments, thoughts?
so
Yeah.
I think the controversy behind that is, I think the week after E3 when people started talking about it and you had other news outlets, writing their opinions about what they thought about the Cyberpunk 2077. What I find very interesting is that the biggest complaint, I think, and I don't even think it should even be a controversy, is I
Mm-hmm.
guess the amount of nudity that's going to be focused on in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was not Cyberpunk, I might see
Okay.
why it would be a complaint. But here you have this game that is set into the future where people are purposely living in a society where they are essentially upgrading their limbs, their body parts, making modifications to their bodies. And it's not just like getting a, you know, mechanical eye. Like your
Right.
arms, your legs, they're upgrading their body parts to where they're almost more mechanical and robotic than they are human. There's a lot of emphasis on that. So it almost makes sense that you're going to see a lot of nudity on a game that is centered around, this future. So why is that shocking? Why is that upsetting?
Hmm.
nobody's telling you you have to play it, and it's not like I feel that the way that it's being portrayed isn't to be a very sexualized thing. It's just one of the elements to better enhance the storytelling that's going to be happening. I don't think it's not going to be, some hentai game
What?
that's
So
centered in
you
this.
don't think it's possible to do it without the nudity?
No, I don't think it is. I think that's almost like an element that I feel that if it was like again, I don't know, I didn't go watch a demo, but I feel like I understand that portion of the game and what it's trying to relay, and I think if you remove that, it's kind of removing a good portion of what the story is going to possibly
Okay.
be.
Would you say the same thing for Last of Us and that whole scene? With or without?
With
Okay.
so I feel it needs to be in there. Now, if you want to take a game like Grand Theft Auto that purposely has a strip club that you can go and visit and, throw money in, that game's not going to hurt without it. You didn't have
So
to
how
have
do
a
you,
strip club in there.
so, but it's in there. You just don't like it in there.
Well,
So
no. It's not like I don't have any personal problems with it, but it's just pretty much like you can still have Grand Theft Auto without having that nudity, without having, that
so why not
explicit
with?
content.
Why not
We can
with?
have it
Like,
with, but you know what? It doesn't
okay.
change what the game is.
Okay. So why would you say it would change what the game is for Cyberpunk and Last of Us without the other things? Because
Well,
we
for
don't know if they're core portions of the story, or do we know
Cyberpunk,
that?
I feel like Cyberpunk that is the core portion of the story. Like it's gonna be talking. I feel like it's like the trailer and everything that they showed. It was showing off these modifications that our society or that society, that world is built off of. So it's kind of just going like that. This
So you're
is
saying it's
how.
ingrained into the story, so let's be butt naked as we replace parts of each other.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
because this this is labeled family friendly. So we're gonna try to be family friendly
Well,
here because before this context
this is
gets
the
out of
best
there.
part of the show.
But if you take it into the world, like maybe possibly the storyline could go into just having characters who go to that extreme of what they did to their body in certain modifications. So maybe
Okay.
they don't necessarily get breast implants with silicone. Maybe they get turrets on their chest. I don't know.
Maybe they talk to the Dead or Alive devs.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But
Maybe.
like even in the teaser trailer from I think it was like a year, maybe 2 years ago. I mean, you
Right.
had a woman that was partially naked in the middle of the streets and her arm, which is basically what the statue is that they gave away. It's that character. Um, she had these swords in her arms,
I want that
in her
statue.
body, and if you take away the fact that you have this attractive female android human. I don't know how to
Mechanical
classify them.
arm.
Yeah, with these weapons in her body, I mean, you can't really emphasize how important that is in a game without having some type of nudity. I'm not saying it
I have a
has to be
question.
lewd,
Mm-hmm.
but you really, if you really want to go into detail and to add emphasis to how much weight in the world that carries, I feel
Right.
like it has to be included into the game.
If you were in that world and you had to modify something, what would you modify?
Well, I would have better vision, so I don't have to wear glasses to begin with.
Okay.
um, let's see. Um, hmm.
What would you modify in a cyberpunk world? So you take care of the Vision.
I
What
I
would you
think
take
I
care
would
of?
want to be like Nebula from the Marvel universe. I would like to be
Explain.
Nebula, but without being blue.
Oh, okay, that character. That's
Yeah,
the
without being blue. I still
Guardians
want to
of the
look very
Galaxy lady.
humanoid. Hmm?
The Guardians of the Galaxy lady.
Yeah, Gamora's sister.
Is that Thanos' daughter?
Yes,
Okay.
other
That okay.
daughter. Like I would probably do just like a full overhaul. But I still want to look
Would.
humanoid. I don't want to look blue spacey or anything like that. I would totally have, my arms turn into like swords. I probably wouldn't be a very nice android
So
human.
you can take care of more rabbits or more
No.
dogs.
No, to defend myself.
Oh, okay.
From
Fair
what?
enough.
I don't know. But
Okay.
I feel that if there was an option to go ahead and do those types of things and that
Yeah.
other people would have it, so I would want to defend myself.
Huh. Okay. All right. So I would want to run fast. I don't know. I always used to love running. I haven't done that in a while, so that'd be dope. And vision is great. I don't think I would do the arms thing though. That's kind of weird for me. I would stay away from the arms thing. So I would be running away from you with the arms thing because I don't want to die. I
Would
think that
you
would
would you get built-in thrusters so that you could fly?
that would be neat.
I
Is
think I'd
that
do
an
that.
option between the running or the thrusters, or
An
I
add-on.
can do both?
An
Oh, if it's an
add-on.
add-on,
It's an
that'd be
add-on. Like,
cool.
oh, if you buy to replace both your legs, you get the 3 thrusters for
Wait,
free.
Daniela, I think you forgot something in your shopping cart.
Wait,
The
there's more.
thrusters.
There's more. For 5 payments of $99.99, we could
That's
add
right.
these jetpacks to your back.
That's
Yeah, that's
right.
kind of like that.
Get the thrusters, baby. You know, that kind of a thing. Okay, so we're talking about the Dead or Alive thing. Briefly mentioned that before. It's definitely the last topic that we have for episode 447 of the show radio. Why is it 447? Because we did a whole bunch of stuff between E3 and now, and it's all available now on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and all those places. So Dead or Alive 6 announced during E3. The characters they're changing the tone of the characters are going to be toned down, and they're not going to be, all, busty and moving crazy as it relates to their body parts. The breast movement and all that stuff is going to be changed up and toned down. So I want to hear your thoughts on this, Daniela. Go for it.
So basically, they're reducing or toning down the jiggle mechanic.
They are. That's what they're doing.
Okay, so talking about Dead or Alive, the very first one, if you would have asked me the same question, would you absolutely need this feature in it? The answer is no. It's a fighting game. It isn't. But but I feel like at this point in the game, Dead or Alive is like almost known for their jiggle mechanics. I mean,
That's right.
it's still a good fighting game, but it's like this is what you're known for. You're going to take away this element that you're known for. I mean, it'll still be a great game. It'll still be fun to play.
Right.
Um, I don't know. It's like, hey, here's a Grand Theft Auto game, but you can't kill
Go to the strip
anybody.
club.
You can't kill anybody. You can't pick up hookers and run them over.
Right. You can't do that anymore. Are
Does
you
it
okay
ruin
with
the
that?
Does it ruin the game? No, it doesn't ruin Grand Theft Auto if you take out those mechanics, but you know what? It's kind of like, well, you've always had that. Why are you taking it away now?
Right.
And then it's like, hey, here's a Mario game, but you're no longer going to have infinity stars. You can still play the game. It's still essentially the same thing. Why would you take it out?
Hmm.
So when it comes to that, I think that their whole thing is that they're trying to get it so that people take the game a little bit more seriously.
Right.
Yeah, that will probably add and help it in a lot because essentially that's what makes the game fun as well. It's not just the jiggle mechanics. It's just It's gonna be different. It's gonna be nice. I don't think it's gonna hurt them really to take it out, reduce it, but I don't think they can completely remove the jiggle mechanic.
Yeah. So essentially, they're having surgery.
They could reduce the size
They could.
because when women fight and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that if they're that heavily endowed, they're probably wearing like 3 sports bras. just just like you're staying here. just
I have no idea.
if they want to try to go with the whole realistic thing here. But what I find funny is the sentence, so everyone can play without being embarrassed. I don't think I know anybody who's embarrassed.
I don't think I've ever been embarrassed playing that. I know that some individuals aren't necessarily fan of the volleyball game. I think the volleyball game is one of the best, it's my opinion, one of the best volleyball games that we ever had for any platform. Unless you go back to Nintendo, because iconic Nintendo would be iconic, but Dead or Alive, when they came out with their volleyball game, it's a pretty good game.
It is. I don't think they make bad games at all. I think it's just a very different and interesting approach. Nothing to be embarrassed about. Now, if you're going to fighting tournaments and you're bringing a body pillow of your character that you main, then maybe you should be a little bit embarrassed, and then maybe you need to get a little bit better friends to help you.
Word.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to pass judgment, but you're showing up to a tournament with a body pillow of your main character. That's some other
That's
level.
special.
Yeah.
That's special. That is pretty special. And I think that's all we have. Daniella, short show, relatively speaking.
It took us forever to get to the start of our show.
We had some stories. We had some stories that we had to get through. So episode 447. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, just checking us out. We really do appreciate it. First time on Mixer, doing some testing and all that good stuff. And Daniella, please close us out.
I have one last comment to make because I just realized that this morning that I was told about this. So there is one, speaking of PlayStation hits and deals here, there is actually a bonus PlayStation Plus exclusive game for free this month that I don't think it was originally in their PS Plus free games. But Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is free.
Nice.
So if you already claimed your games and you didn't go back and you didn't see that originally, it is. I was told about that this morning. So it is Friday, June 22nd, at least for me. Currently, it is Saturday, June 23rd for Andrew. But it is free, so I don't know how long that's going to be lasting for. If it's just for the month, definitely jump in and get that game for free.
My PlayStation ran out. I need like a trial or something to hold me over for a couple of days. But yeah, that's all I got.
But yeah, thanks for tuning into the show. This is definitely a very interesting thing to be switching to Mixer, especially since I've always only ever been on Twitch. I'm not against trying anything new. So yeah, we're gonna be testing the waters. I mean, it doesn't hurt. See what's out there. It's no point of always sticking with just one thing if there's possibly some other ventures to go out. So thank you for tuning into the show, whether you came in live, you're watching after the fact, or if you downloaded it later on your favorite podcatchers. We appreciate you and your support. You can also add us with our Alexa skill by saying, I keep wanting to say Alex. Alexa, enable the show radio podcast. And if you're too lazy to say it for yourself, or for some reason your throat is out, you can just replay these last like 10 seconds right next to your Alexa. I'm sure I'll do it. I did it for you. Or you can visit theshowradio.info/Alexa, and you can do it that way as well too. You can definitely check us out and hang out with the community on Discord. And any comments, tips, feedback that you want to give, email us, community@theshowradio.info. Also, never miss a show by subscribing to us on your favorite podcatchers at theshowradio.info/listen. You can also watch us on Twitch and on Mixer, both of them of which is The Show Radio Live. and
Word.
for everything that we talked about today and all of our previous shows, because the last time we recorded live together like this in this format, we were at 405, 404. So there were
Something like that.
442 episodes and sound clips and articles for you guys to catch up on, because Andrew loves you and he's been hustling hard over there. Go
Some
check us out
excitement.
on the website, www.theshowradio.info. And until next time, have a great weekend. Bye.